Hello, my darlings. This is Rowan. If you're new to the channel, welcome, welcome. If you're returning, I'm glad you decided to come back. And here we are with a new video. And I know it's been a super long time since I've done a makeup tutorial. But I thought that would be something that would be fun to do today because there's been several people who've been asking for one. I apologize now. You might hear my air conditioner going. It's like been super sweltering hot. So, you know, gotta have some AC. So, okay, let's go ahead and get this bad boy started. Now, of course, the very first thing that you absolutely should do anytime you're doing any kind of makeup is to wash your face. And if you want to get that really super smooth look for like photography or whatever, shave. And it doesn't matter if you're a girl or a guy or non-binary or whatever, shave your face, because it will make everything smooth. Now, of course, I did not shave this. This does not go off. But I've shaved the rest of it. There's still a little bit of stubble. But, you know, that's okay. The foundations and all that stuff will cover that up. And I will be doing a video about my foundation routine and such like that at another time. Another thing you want to do is make sure you moisturize your entire face very well. You know, including your eyelids, everything like that. What I use is the Jergens Ultra Healing Lotion, and it's one of my favorites. It works so super good. You know, if you have very dry skin, it'll, you know, really help with that. If you don't have very dry skin, it, you know, it just feels really nice. It's very silky, and it does not like feel real greasy on your face. But when since we're doing a eye makeup tutorial, of course, going to the, as per usual, I will be telling you all the products, what little brushes I use. Now, I don't use any kind of fancy brushes or anything like that. They're not like going to be like, oh, this is the Mac 55,000 bazillion. You know, no. I use, most of my brushes come from B&H Cosmetics, and, or, I can't think of the other name. It's like these natural brushes you can get at like Walmart or whatever. Nothing fancy. You don't have to have fancy. What you want is brushes that are going to be soft and that they're going to feel good on your skin. But very first thing you really want to do if you're doing any kind of eye makeup application is, of course, you want to use a good primer. Now, what I use is from a company that is, I don't think around anymore, but I still got it like a lot in the pot, so I'm just using it until I'm done with it. B&H sells the same sort of pots, and this one is from a company called Aesthetics. I think you can see. Yep, there it goes. Okay. So, Aesthetics Cosmetics, they used to be in business. I don't think they're in business anymore. They got bought out by B&H because B&H has the exact same products now. Either that or they just changed their name. So, you just pick up a little bit of your primer. And don't be afraid to use your fingers. You're going to see a lot of these makeup tutorial peoples. They're like using brushes and all this kind of stuff to put on even basic stuff like primers. Not necessary. And I understand you might be like, why is he putting on so much and it's so very pale? Now, you want to use a very pale primer on your eyes, because when you're doing makeup that's a lot of colors and things like that, if you have a pale primer underneath it, then your colors show up really well and they real pop and everything like that. And again, also, I said it in a prior makeup tutorial, do not be afraid if you mess up. You know, we have makeup remover and things like that. That will fix all of that for us. So, now that we are primed, we are going to start with our first layer. Now, for the first layer, I'm going to be using a color called Love from a company called Sugarpill. Now, Sugarpill is one of the only expensive brands that I use. These are not really inexpensive. I think they're like 13-14 bucks or so for like one of these little single colors, but they are super intensive colors. They do so well, and they look amazing on the eyes, and so it's absolutely worth it. And what you want to do when you're applying like your basic like eyeshadows, you know, just for the single layer or whatever, or double layer, whatever, is you want to use a little paddle brush like that. Now, this is one of those, one from Eco Tools. That was the brand I was trying to think of, a little Eco Tools brand. These work great. They feel really good. They're, you know, they're not expensive. You know, you don't have to go and buy those expensive ass brushes. They're just, you know, yeah, you can, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with them. But, you know, I am one of these people, I am on a budget, so I use what I got. And you want to just kind of tighten your eyelid up a little bit and just kind of smush it on. Like I said, it's okay if you mess up a little bit. There's going to be a lot of blending and stuff in this, so don't worry about it. Just kind of get it all over the eye, all over the eyelid. Just kind of swipe it on, do a little bit of padding, pat it on. We're just going to put a nice thick solid layer because this is going to be our bottom color. Go ahead and get the other eye. Now, one of the two favorite brands, while I'm doing this, let's go ahead and talk a little bit. The two favorite brands that I really like for cosmetics is B&H Cosmetics. I talk about them on most of my makeup tutorials, and most of the people who know me real life know I will rave the reviews of B&H Cosmetics because they do so good. Also love Sugarpill. As you can see, this is just one layer and it's so super thick. I mean, it's, or 2 layers. It is so super pigmented. This stuff is awesome sauce. Now, we're going to use, if I can find my brush, we're going to do a second layer of the red, but we're going to do it under the eye, like right there. And this time I'm using another little paddle brush, but it's a much smaller one. It's a little short bristle one. And what you'll do is you'll just roll just the front edge, just the edge. You don't want to do the flat. You just want that little edge like that. Oh, I hit my microphone. Yay. Like I said, I am not, you know, one of these professional YouTube-y people. This is stuff I do for fun. And there's been a lot of people asking for a new makeup tutorial, which is why I'm doing this one. And this tutorial is going to be very much in a sort of glam rock meets goth meets kind of sort of geisha-ish Asian-inspired look. It's one of the fun looks. I love doing this one. I did this sort of look quite a few years ago, and it was so much fun to do. I thought I would do it on camera for you guys. Okay, now that you got your red, or your, well, it's more pinkish, but now that we got that in place, we're going to go over to, and of course I am not organized. It's all the stuff's all over my desk. And yet again, this is another Sugarpill product. This is called Asylum. It is a powdered eyeshadow. Now, I know a lot of people get very scared about powdered eyeshadows because they're like, oh my god, what's it going to do? It's going to get all over the place, whatever. Again, it's fine. If you have a little fallout under your eyes, whatever, it's okay. We're going to be using a Q-tip and some eye makeup remover to clean up around everything when we're done anyways. So don't stress over stuff like that. Now, your powders come in these little pots. Let's see if I can tip it a little bit. This is kind of a orangish metallic color. By the way, if you see me looking over this direction, that's because my computer's over here and I can see, occasionally I will check and see that everything is doing what it's supposed to be doing. Now with your powders, you just want to very lightly touch it in there to where you get just a little bit on your brush. And then just kind of tap your brush like that to get the excess off. And we're going to just kind of pat this over the top. Like I said, since we're doing a sort of love geisha-ish sort of look, you know, we're going to be doing reds and we're going to be using some blacks. And it's going to look super fun. And there are people who are like, oh, why are you wearing makeup? You're a guy, whatever, blah, 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 blah. I'm one of these people that I don't feel that makeup should have a gender. Makeup is one of those things that universally, depending on the cultures you've gone through and the time periods that you've gone through or that have happened in the past, makeup was worn, and sometimes by men alone, other times it was by women alone. And we're in 2018. This gendering of basic things like makeup or clothes, personally I think it's kind of stupid. And I hit my microphone again, sorry about that. But I think it's really stupid that we're going to gender things like makeup or products, because why? What's the use of it? Okay, and as you can see, it looks kind of crazy right now, but that is going to change. Go ahead and put my little lid back on my powder pot, because this stuff will go everywhere if you do not pay attention to what you're doing with it. And I have screwed up before and blown on the powder, and it was funny. I thought it was funny. So the next thing we want to do is start with our black, and yet again we're going to be using a Sugarpill product. This is from the Cold Chemistry palette. Now I love this palette. It has so much stuff, and even though I've used it a lot, you can see how little product has been picked up out of this palette, because with Sugarpill products, they are so highly pigmented you don't have to use a lot, so in turn you save a lot of money. Now we're using the brush I typically use for black, and I usually keep this one brush just for the black eyeshadows, because black eyeshadow becomes a pain in the butt to try to get out. So just pick up a little of the black out of your eyeshadow, and I tend to just kind of tap my brushes to kind of clean them up a little bit. And you will see, some of the drag queens and stuff like that will use put like a card or something on the side of their face. I don't. I've been doing this long enough. And since this look is a little more kind of loose style, it's okay. It doesn't have to be, these perfect lines. So you just want to kind of sweep on a little black at an angle, and then just kind of brush it over the top. Now I'm not going into the crease of my eye, because the crease of my eye is quite deep and it would just get lost. You wouldn't be able to see the color at all. So we put it there. Blow off my excess there. And then we're going to just kind of blend some of this down and kind of fix that corner. Just kind of blend this down into the corner of the red like that. And we're just using the color that's already on the brush and a little bit that's on the eye already. Once you get it like that, we're going to move on to the next color. Oh, I did not tell you about the brush. Now, this brush I got from one of these Walmart sets that was like $5 or something. You got like 4 of these double-ended brushes. Now, I love this brush because this one has a rounded, kind of slightly pointed top to it. Let me see if I can get the camera to focus on it. And this is really good for this kind of stuff, of getting just kind of somewhat precision, but not excuse me, but not super precision. And the best part is this fluffy back blender. This little blender is been my go-to for so long, and I just freaking love it so much. So, and we're going to use our blender, and what you want to do is you want to go in little small circles. Just kind of swoop up a little bit, and just kind of go in little small circles, and just kind of pull the black over into the corner. And we're going, like I said, don't worry if it looks a little funky, because we're going to clean it up, and I will show you how to clean all this up at the end of the tutorial, of course, so that you can see how everything will come together. Just blend it in little small circles, just kind of work it around into the corner. Now, what made me think about doing this kind of little look was I recently picked up a copy of A Wrinkle in Time, the Disney movie. I don't watch a lot of Disney flicks, but you know, it looked interesting, and it's not the best movie, but the makeup stuff on the characters was incredibly well done. And I saw, you know, a similar type look, and I loved it, and so I was like, okay, well, let's see if we can sort of kind of recreate it. Again, we're using Sugarpill, and no, this is not product placement. You can use it. Elf makes powdered colors, as does B&H, and there's so many cosmetic companies that make these powdered products. So use whichever one you like, but we're using powders because they are a little lighter, they're a little easier to mold and blend over how you want. So we're just going to pick up a little bit of our silver, yet again on a clean little flat powder brush, or paddle brush. And we're going to start here in the corner of the eye, and we're just going to kind of pat that in there. Oh, got a little too much on my brush. That's okay, just tap it off. And this one we're kind of patting in because we want the color to be nice, and as you can see, a very shimmery sort of solid in there. And I realized I forgot to tell you what the color was. But again, this is a product from Sugarpill, and I love it because it's super metallic. As you can see, it looks very, you know, rich, very the metals are very good. And the cool part about these powder shadows that a lot of people may not always be aware of is that you can take these powdered shadows and you can use like an eyeliner brush and dampen it, and then you can use it as like eyeliners or just a solid shimmer, and it will sit there and look almost like a aluminum foil. And it's super cool, especially if you're doing like cosplays or whatever like that, and you need something like an aluminum foil eyelid or anything like that. Absolutely, that will do a great job at it. Now, again, this was one of those double-endy ones that I got from Walmart. Has the paddle end on one side, has the floofer on the other side. And that silver pot is called Tiara. Now, this, again, it's from Sugarpill. And it's Tiara. So, again, we're going to go to our little blender, and this one we're going to just very softly just kind of sweep it just a little at the edge of the red and the silver, just to kind of blend the two over into each other so it looks like it's sort of transitioning, kind of ombreing over. And this is super easy little look to do. It's not fancy. It doesn't have to be fancy. Makeup does not have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be 20 layers. It doesn't have to be over the top. Makeup is fun. It's supposed to be fun. Now, what we're going to use next is some eyeliner, and we're going to do it on the bottom lid. And this is a stick one, a little pen one from Sephora. And I really like these pen ones versus pencils, or even like the liquid. I know people do like the liquids in the little screw off ones. I'm not a big fan of those because they're so messy and everything kind of gets everywhere. These little pencil ones from Sephora are, let me see if I can get it to zoom in, is super, super awesome. This will, you can do very tight lines with this. You can do wider lines with this. I really like this one for doing the waterline. Now, how I do the waterline is I just kind of take the eyelid, pull it down a little bit, and just swipe it over the waterline of the eyeball. And my pencil will behave itself. So, yet again, this was not an expensive product. It was like $7 or $8. And it's more expensive than, say, your cheapo pencil ones from like Walmart, the Wet n Wild, or even like Elf. Now, I like the Elf eyeliners as well, but this one just happens to be my favorite. And as you can see, I did a little thicker and then swipes up to thin. And that just is the control. Just want to kind of swipe it a little thicker in the outer corner and just kind of drag it up into the inside corner. So it's not a difficult thing to do. And I know some of these YouTubers will be like, oh, blah, 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 But, again, things don't have to be perfect. Because there's always cleanup. There's always the final steps to making things look perfect. So, it looks a little fudunky-dunky right at the moment. But that's okay. That is alright. Where did my the brush go to? Oh, still in my little brush bag. And I got this one from B&H as well. And I love this thing because it's got a big travel pouch. And you can see it has all your brushes are all nicely lined up. And this thing is so super helpful. And when I take like little trips or whatever, this thing comes in so handy because I can just, it just folds up. And it has little magnetic snaps. And you snap it shut, take it with you. And this thing is so great. I love it so much. Excuse me. I have been sick. And all of you who follow me on like YouTube or on Facebook, y'all know I have been a bit ill. I've been more than a bit ill. I've been very ill, which is the reason I've been so late on getting any sort of videos going. But hey, I'm feeling good today, so I thought I'd do this. Now, okay, I didn't show you what I was doing. We're going to use this little angle brush. Now, normally this would be used for like eyeliner, but we're going to be using this for powder, and we're using that same kind of shimmery black that we used on the top lid. And what you want to do is go from the corner about 3/4 of the way over. And you see it's going to make this nice, pretty sharp line. As you can see. And we're going to do that on the other side. And you just take it from the corner of your black. And just kind of swoopity-doop underneath the red. I keep hitting my microphone. I am so sorry. I'm still getting used to this new mic. I got a one of those really nice Blue Yeti microphones now. Versus the first makeup tutorial, which I did not. And a lot of people like that first makeup tutorial. But I am happy to admit it was a wreck. It was a train wreck of a video. I still had a ton of fun making it, but I'm not going to lie. And as you can see, I'm just using the pencil or the brush with that black on it to kind of sharpen that edge up. Like I said, it's okay if things are not perfect initially, because we always continue onwards and we fix it. So now you can see it has this real sharp line, and you got this nice pretty silver in the center. Now we're going to brush a little wipey white just to kind of get that little bit of black off of it. And we're going to use the same brush because I like this brush. And from this palette, from the Sugarpill palette, this one is called Diamond Eyes. It's this white right here. And we're going to use a little bit of that on the corner, inside corner. I'm just going to kind of blend it up so it kind of goes into the silver on top. And you can see a little bit of the red underneath, and that's exactly what we wanted. So everything just kind of blends together. And the reason I put the little white in the inside corners is so that it makes the eyes look bigger and brighter, and it just kind of makes everything pop a little more. I always blow off my palettes. I probably shouldn't. It's probably sticking germs all over it, but that's how I do it. And our next step is we're going to use some Q-tips, and we're going to clean up this top line. So hold on one second, guys. I forgot my Q-tips. Okay, sorry about that, guys. And we are back. And to do the cleanup, the product I use is the waterproof eye makeup remover from Sephora. And normally this is in like 2 sections, and you got to shake up the bottle and it becomes this light blue. But you'll have like this layer of clear and then this layer of blue stuff. This stuff is super freaking amazing. It's like the best freaking eye makeup remover, and you can get like a big bottle, like one of these big giant bottles for like, $20. Now I got one of the big bottles, but I'm using the last of my little bottles because this is usually what I travel with. And just put a little, just kind of, because there's a little hole there, I just put the Q-tip on the little hole, tip it, and get some moisture on there. And we're just going to swoop it along. Now we got multiple Q-tips because we're probably going to use multiple Q-tips to, at least 2 Q-tips per eye to clean up. And as you see, there's a little bit of black. This stuff just, it's like a freaking magic eraser. The makeup just comes right off. It's so good. I love this stuff so much. And now let's get our other side cleaned up. And again, we're just running the makeup remover on the Q-tip along the top and around into the corner a little bit, just to kind of clean up the excess black. And that will also get rid of the excess primer. And as you can see, the reason, you can now see why I used the very white primer, because it makes the colors would not be near this bright if you were using just a plain clear eye primer. And so we kind of got this. When we cleaned it up, it kind of gave like this little kind of cat eye almost to the corner edges, and I freaking love that so much. It's so super cool looking. And most of the time for foundations, I will use Bare Minerals. And of course, I keep hitting the microphone. I'm so sorry, guys. I use Bare Minerals because this stuff is really good for my skin, because I have very, very dry skin. And I have the little starter kit, and I love it. And which one is that? Okay, it's the matte. That's the one I like. So I will show you about using the Bare Minerals. Just the cashmere. Oh yeah, this is if you go to Bare Minerals or you go to the website, sign up for their website, and every year at your birthday, you can go into any Bare Minerals store, and they will give you a small product for free. And my last birthday, I got this one, which is eyeshadow, and it's powder stuff. It's a little powdery eyeshadow. It's kind of a brownish, reddish, pinkish sort of color, and I love it. It's super pretty. If you're doing a very nude face or a very nude makeup, that works super great. So I'm going to use a little of my don't lick your face. So I'm just using a little bit of my concealer. Kind of go over some of the little razor spots. Because it happens. More so on the gentlemen or the male identified who have the testosterone hormones. And on our trans women friend who some still shave, some do not. That, of course, is your choice. But like I said, when we're doing makeups, it's always good to shave, because then it gives you a nice smooth palette on your face to work with. And I just used, and that one, the concealer I use is just a very basic concealer. It's like a CoverGirl stick concealer. It's super cheap stuff, but it works really good. It's surprisingly very, very effective. Now you're going to see some of these people that are doing like these Bare Mineral tutorials, and they're like really like piling the powder into the lids. You do not want to do that, because you're wasting product. A little goes a long way with Bare Minerals. Now, as I said earlier, we moisturized our face, but now we're going to use some actual primer. And I know some people put the primer on first before they put on their concealer. I like to put the concealer on first and then the primer. That way, when I put the powder over it, yeah, I got a big spot right there on my head, but it's covered up under my headscarf, so I'm not really overly concerned with that one. But get your primer all over your face. And my primer of choice, yet again, is a little slightly more expensive product. You don't have to use this product. You can use any kind of not like non-silicone primers is what I prefer. And this one is from Smashbox. It's the Photo Finish. This stuff works great whether you're using a liquid foundation, a powder foundation. This stuff is like magic. It does so good. Everything feels and looks so well. So what we're going to do is we're going to start out with the Bare Minerals Original. This is the, we're going to start off with the matte. Sorry, I grabbed the wrong one. We're going to start off with the Bare Minerals Matte. And when you open it up, it looks like that. And you got your lid. You just want to, this little part turns. And you just want to turn it to where there's like two little holes open. And you just want to tap a little pile. I mean, it's a tiny, tiny little pile. But a little bit, again, goes a long way. You get your brush, and you just swirl it. And you just keep swirling until your brush picks up all the powder out of your lid. We'll have to move my mic eventually. After that, just work it into your face in sections. I do one cap load for the forehead, Now, if you're using Bare Minerals, it's not going to be one of these heavy, full coverage unless you put a liquid foundation under it. And you can do that, and I have done that when I'm doing a very big makeup for like photos or whatever. Then I will put on a liquid powder or a liquid foundation underneath my Bare Minerals, because I love Bare Minerals even on the top. And again, you just want to work this. I mean, you can see it's a very good coverage anyways. I mean, it really gets the crap in there. It really covers super well. Especially if you're just, if you have very delicate or dry skin, Bare Minerals really works super well, because it does, even though it's a powder and you're like, wouldn't a powder foundation be, hard on dry skin? This is surprisingly not, because you're also, like I said before, you are going to put on a moisturizer, and then you're going to put a your primer on. Just kind of get up under the eye, but because you're putting a primer on and powder on, moisturizer and stuff on beforehand, it just kind of, everything sticks very well. And since we're done with the top, I'll just go ahead and drop my scarf down. And yes, my hair is different. I have wool dreadlocks in. I love wool dreadlocks because you can play with them. You can get different colors. I mean, there's a bazillion types of wool dreadlocks. Some people like the synthetic ones. I do not so much, because the synthetics can damage your natural hair, whereas the wool dreadlocks will not. So you just want to buff in the Bare Minerals into your skin. Now, most of the time, I would take out all my jewelry, because then you get the powder on your jewelry, but it just wipes off. Just, yeah. Give that a little wipe. Give that a little wipe. And all your jewelry is shiny again. Oh, let me close that lid up. Just twist your lid when you're done. And, I mean, as you can see, this is, it looks really good. It's very exceptionally well done. I love Bare Minerals. Now, the next thing we're going to use is warmth. Now, this is the product that scares the crap out of everybody with Bare Minerals. Again, you don't need much. Usually, because this one doesn't, unfortunately, come with one of those twisty lids. So, when you take the lid off, there's going to be powder all in the container and kind of all over. But that tiny, tiny little bit in the lid, just dunk one or two little, small dunks. I know I'm looking down weird. I'm sorry, guys. Kind of tap off the extra, and you just want that. You see how little bit, that tiny, tiny, tiny little bit? That's all you need. And I use this. No, I was wrong. I use this as sort of a kind of loose contouring. And we are going to put another little layer of powder over it, so do not be concerned with how dark it may initially look. Again, tap the powder off so you just have that little line, and just kind of follow along your cheekbones and up around your hairline, and just kind of buff it in, and then just kind of buff it down. It'll kind of give you that sort of shadowed effect, as you can see. If I can get in the camera, you can see. And when you're looking straight ahead, you can see it looks really nice, and it kind of gives you a little bit of a kind of cut edge look, that contoured look. I do not talk good. Rowan no talk good. And just give your brush a good knock. Give it a little wipe off. And the final thing we're going to use is the Bare Minerals Original. Now this is a little more shimmery, but it makes it a great little top coat. Again, just twist your little top, give it a couple little taps. And another thing with Bare Minerals, when you're going to, if you're going to use it, definitely go to one of the Bare Minerals stores first, because they will help you find the right color for your skin. And what I use is a tone called Fairly Light, because I am a bit pale and I wanted a makeup that would look like my natural skin tone versus the super pasty goth look, which I do have the shadow or the foundations and stuff to do that. But personally, if I'm just going to be doing something out and about during the daytime, I kind of don't want to be, you know, liquid paper white. So just buff it in circles. I love this stuff so much. It really does quite a good job of kind of get it on your ears and kind of down on your neck as well, just to kind of blend everything down. Nobody wants to have that clown face where you got that line. Everybody, and all of you who have worn makeup before, you know, when you were first starting out with makeup, everybody had the clown line at their jaw lines and stuff like that. But it looks bad. It looks bad. So we're not going to do that. We're going to try to make sure that, you know, we don't end up with that. So that's why we buff down our neck. Go ahead and put our, let me get these out of there, and put our powders back into our little case. And I love the starter kit because you use so little of this that one of these little starter sets, which is like $80, this is a definitely more expensive product, but it's so awesome. It works so super good. Oh, there we go. Good thing I opened it up because I had my mascara stashed in here. A lot of times when I'm going on a little short, like overnight or whatever, I'll take this, my pencil liner from Sephora, and my brush kit, and like one of my palettes, like the usually it'll be the Cold Chemistry palette. I'll take that with me, and that has everything I need to be able to do whatever little look I want to do for the night, or if I'm going to be going out somewhere. But okay, now we got our powder on. Probably should have done the mascara before then, but I know you're probably going to be like, why didn't you put mascara on the top lids, or along the top lids? Well, that's not the look we're doing. If you do that, then it's going to start looking overly heavy, and that is not the look I was going for with this. Now, this is one of these little sample mascaras that I got from Sephora. Again, sign up for these makeup things, like Sephora's little VIP card. It gives you build up points on the VIP card, and then at your birthday you can go in and get you don't have to use the points for it, but you can go in on your birthdays and you get a little free makeup thing. And it's usually like one of these little sampler sets, little travel sets or something like that. And a lot of times they'll give you the choice between a makeup or a perfume set, a little perfume set or whatever. I always go for the makeup one, of course, because I'm like obsessed with makeup. As everybody who has watched this channel or knows me in real life, via Facebook or in the real world, knows I love my makeup. And a lot of people would be like curling their lashes and stuff like that. I like very simple, kind of old school. So just put on a layer of mascara. And everybody makes the funny face in the mascara when they're putting on mascara. I don't know why. I don't know what started that, but I think it's kind of fun. We're going to put on a second layer. And honestly, I just kind of forgot to put on my mascara while I was doing the eyes. Usually I would do that before I put on my face powder, but, you know, that's okay. Remember, on the Gothic Gamer channel, we do not demand perfection. Because this is all about fun and having a good time. Be it with video games, be it with makeup, be it with movie tutorial or movie reviews or whatever. We're having fun. And that's what's the most important thing about makeup, is just have fun with it. There's no right answers, there's no wrong answers. You know, if it makes you happy to do it, then do it that way. Now, I couldn't figure out which kind of lip I wanted to do, so we're not going to do a lip, but you could do any sort of lip color that you wanted. Actually, I think I will grab a lip color just to show you. And please don't lick your stuff. I should not be doing that. That's a bad thing. Don't do that. Alright, and we're back. And because, of course, this is a goth-inspired look, we're going to go with our black lipstick. You don't see a lot of people wearing black lipstick anymore. I know there's like the old Kylie Jenner or whatever the fuck her name is that did the black lipstick stuff recently. But I love black lipstick. I've been wearing it since I was like 14 years old. I am about to turn 39. I love black lipstick. And for a long time, you couldn't find it unless it was like Halloween. But I will tell you, one of the best places to get black lipstick or like the funky fun colors is not MAC. It's not Sephora. Go to wish.com. I got this one. And it is called Denomere Lipsticks. See if I can get this to focus in. Come on. Come on. I know you want to focus. I know you want to focus. There we go. Denomere Lipsticks. And this is their 05. And it is about as black can get. This is amazing. As you can see, it looks great. So that's that. And you know, this is a fun look. It's a somewhat colorful look. You can wear this out during the day. You could wear it out to the club. You could, you know, do whatever you want with it. It's makeup. Have fun with it. And on that note, I'm going to go ahead and end this. I want to say thank you to everybody who's been supporting the channel, and thank you to everybody who has been requesting a makeup tutorial. I've been wanting to do one for a while, and I just kind of got very sidetracked with my health stuff. If you're enjoying these, likes, comments, things like that helps out small YouTubers like myself, and it lets me know if you want to see more of this kind of content versus games or whatever. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. That would really help me out. It makes me know that you're enjoying this and that you would like to see more. And if you would like to, in the annotations of the video will be a link to the Facebook page. Feel free, absolutely anytime, to go over there and leave a message, leave a comment, whatever. I'm happy to reply to them all, the good, the bad, the ugly. And on that note, we're going to be done. So love you guys, and I'll see you next time. Okay, bye-bye.